from the bone. Look who just stepped in the room. Got soldiers in every direction. As long as they stepping in tone. I be an all black with the groom. Watching Babylon fall to doom. Lord, know I'm ready, and I know that you know that her love is deadly, but I am immune. These niggas talking rude to whom? That's a spot you'll be moving soon, and you'll be leaving shortly. Still fucking with them angels, yeah, they still enforce me. Got a whole lot of zeal, I can't get it off me. Plus I'm winning like I got a blue ribbon on me. He ain't one quest, bitch, I'm making party. See, I knew these niggas like to do that pillow talking, so that's why I bought a Glock to the summer party. Got it off the dust. I just began to a pretty much. That brotherhood of weapon, gotta keep it in the clutch. If it ain't one West nigga, I don't want to hear it, keep your tone down. Had a couple complications, but it's on now. So you can kill a speculation, bitch, I'm thrown down. And if you want a conversation, set his zone down. Nigga, what he say, I ain't hear him, I done zoned down. Can't walk, it's a long mouth. I'm 44, I'm on another level with it. These niggas never listen, so I let the devil get his ass. I try to tell you, I'm a rebel nigga. Better be careful if you ever think I'm stepping in my path. Cause it ain't no game. Stay in your lane, now I'm playing twisted metal with his ass. Got it off the block. I just began to it pretty much. Your brotherhood and weapon, gotta keep it in the clutch. Revenge to my main bitch, I think I got a crush. And she know that I got some sick shit inside me. But you know I.S.U.P.K versus everybody. Got the side, move the buttons like he Teddy Riley. I'ma race through the track like a Ricky Bobby. Got it off the dust. I just began to it pretty much. Your brotherhood and weapon, gotta keep it in the clutch. Gotta keep it with me, it's a must. Got it off the dust. I just began to it pretty much. Your brotherhood and weapon, gotta keep it in the clutch. If it ain't one West nigga, hot.
All right. Clap it up. You know what I'm saying? It's the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge. Started out at 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under commanding General YAHANNA. It is Monday, the history breakdown class. You know what time it is. Well, we going to line it up, precept upon precept, here a little, there a little. Do me a favor, Yakabad. Give me a little elevation on this mic on the first knob. Just turn it up just a smidgy. All right. So we're going to finish up Genesis 47. Now, I need y'all to understand something, that this book, more not specifically this book, this chapter is so pivotal as far as what's going on right now. You understand where we are, what's about to happen. Last class was who are you voting for and why are you voting, right? But this chapter not only is going to tell you the future of things to come, but how things are going to be set up. But before that happens, we all got to go through our own story of Joseph. You understand? All right. So we're going to pick up where we left off in the story. All right. Let me get back and pull up my notes. I think we stopped off at 13. We're going to back up a little bit. And for those that don't, they're just tuning in and don't really know about the story of Joseph, where we are knee deep in the famine. You understand? And everybody in the land of Canaan, in the land of Egypt, they coming to Joseph to buy all types of corn, wheat, and barley, so they don't die. You understand? because Pharaoh had a dream that he saw 7 fat cows, then he saw 7 uh Skeletor looking cows. You understand? And the 7 Skeletor looking cows ate the 7 fat cows, and they still look like Skeletor. You know what I'm saying? And basically, the dream meant that he's gonna have 7 years of bountiful harvest, and then he was gonna have 7 years of famine, and those 7 years of famine would be like that bountiful harvest never existed. It was going to be the worst drought and famine that Egypt had ever experienced. And it's not the first one, because there was a famine during Abraham's time in Egypt. You understand? But this is like the worst famine that's ever happened. Okay, so because Joseph was the one that was able to interpret Pharaoh's dream, because Pharaoh, he called out to all of the witches, the wizards, the warlocks, the babalaos, the priestesses, the prophetesses, the fortune tellers, the soothsayers, and none of them with their familiar spirits could interpret the dream, because as Malakia so eloquently put, you understand, uh, what comes in a dream is from the spirit. You understand? And in order to interpret what comes from the spirit, you need to know what spirit. And that dream was given by the spirit of the Most High God. So only a prophet of the Most High would be able to interpret it, or a child of the Most High God. Because we are nations of kings and priests. We are all prophets. The Lord can come and talk to any of us. The Lord can like in the New Testament, the scripture says that the Lord could raise up these rocks to be descendants of Abraham. You understand? So basically, that means the Lord could raise up any one of us to be Moses. You understand? I always give the example, not calling commanding General YAHANNA Moses, but he had the same kind of situation as Moses didn't want to deliver the people. You understand? Commanding General YAHANNA is not commanding General YAHANNA because he made himself commanding General YAHANNA. He's commanding General YAHANNA because everyone left, and he was left by himself. All of his brothers abandoned him. You understand? And he was left with the charge. And when he was left with the charge, like Captain Zariak brought out, uh, in one of his battles, Commanding General YAHANNA has not had a rank raise since the late, the late 80s, early 90s. You understand? Like General Muhammad has had more rank raises than Commanding General YAHANNA. Captain Zariak has. You understand? I have. You know what I'm saying? So that lets you. He didn't say, okay, well, since I'm left, I'm gonna give myself a rank raise of chief high priest. He didn't do that. You know what I'm saying? And those that are really called to be leaders, 9 times out of 10, they don't want to be a leader, because they know how much work it takes. And 9 times out of 10, those make the best leaders, because they know the burden. They not taking on the burden because they want to be dubbed the man. You understand? They know what the burden is. They be like, man, oh, bro, I don't want to do that. You know what I'm saying? It's going to take too much. It's going to require too much. You understand? Like, that burden is too heavy. You understand? But when that yoke is put on them, they stand up to the task at hand. And such is the situation with Joseph and where we are now. You understand? Joseph was given the task. Okay, well, since you interpreted the dream, when that famine happened, I'm gonna send them to you. You understand? So you got 7 years to make something shake, Joseph. You feel me? And when the famine come, when they come and ask me, where the food at, I'm gonna send them to you. And that's where we are in the story. You understand? So we're gonna start at verse 10. When you gotta go ahead and read it. Yes, sir. Chapter 47, verse 10. And Yahweh, go ahead and hold Revelations 12 and 1 for me, please.
This is the book of Genesis, chapter 47, verse 10.
Mm-hmm.
And Jacob blessed Pharaoh and went out from before Pharaoh. Verse 11. And Joseph placed his father and his brethren and gave them a possession in the land of Egypt,
Mm-hmm.
in the best of the land.
In the what of the land?
In the best of the land.
Keep that in mind, right? Oh, another thing, leading up to this. So Joseph prefaced his father and his brothers that Pharaoh's gonna come to you. He's gonna ask you what your occupation is. You understand? And he said, that we are shepherds, and so is our forefathers. You understand? And what's so heavy about that is our people have been cowboys from the beginning. Our hand has been in livestock from the beginning. You understand? There are 5 ways to ascertain wealth. You understand? Today, real estate, all right, commodities, which is gold and silver, land, all right. The newest craze on the forefront in this day and age, investing in the stock market, which is something that's relatively new, but in antiquity was only 4, and the 4th is in agriculture. You understand? Livestock. You understand? So that's where the real wealth. That's one of the main ways to have wealth. That's why ranchers be something. Even though they look country, they wealthy as hell. You understand? It I got a homeboy of mine that I grew up with, a best friend, Thomas Archie. You understand? The Archies are well known in Huntsville. You feel me? He regaled me with a story when we was talking about going hunting here in a couple of months. He was telling me, how when it was time to for him to go back to school, when he was in high school, he needed new clothes and stuff like that. They would sell off some minerals. You know what I'm saying? When it was time to pay his tuition for college, they sold off some minerals. You understand? Or from the rights of the land. You understand? So it's like the wealth is in the land. And what was the blessing that Jacob gave to, what was the blessing that Isaac gave to Jacob? Does anybody remember? Anybody? Nobody? This something that you should have etched at the forefront of your mind, because it's your covenant. It's a part of your covenant. You know what I'm saying? The blessing that was given was for us to live and have the fatness of the land. You understand? And Esau was to dwell in the fatness of the land. You understand? So it don't matter where you put us on this earth. You understand? The earth gonna yield to us because it's our lot. It's our blessing. It's in our blood. That's why most brothers are good with animals. You know what I'm saying? Like, we'll subdue a dog quick. You understand? You put us around a cow or a horse, we'll subdue that quick too, because it's in our blood, because it's from our forefathers. You understand? So now when Joseph's brothers and Israel, they go before Pharaoh, they be like, well, our profession, we're shepherds. You understand? He's like, okay, well, I'm gonna give y'all the best of the land. You understand? Which was Goshen. You feel me? And he gave them herds and livestock in a famine. And they already had herds and livestock. But what's about to happen, what we're about to read that's about to happen, is what you need to keep in mind in today's time, because the earth is going into a famine. And it is the third world war. You understand? Go ahead. Keep reading, Sawadia.
In the land of Ramesses, and Pharaoh, as Pharaoh had commanded. Verse 12. And Joseph nourished his father and his brethren and all his father's household with bread according to their family. Verse 13. And there was no bread in all the land, for the famine was very sore, so that the land of Egypt and all the land of Canaan fainted by reason of the famine.
All right, read what I asked for, Yakubad. Yeah. 12, Revelations 12 and 1. You understand? Because like what you got to understand is, in order to get to heaven, you have to sacrifice and go through hell. All right, go ahead, read what you got.
This is the book of Revelations, chapter 12, verse 1. And there appeared a great wonder in heaven, a woman clothed with the sun and the moon under her feet, and upon her head a crown of 12 stars.
All right, so real quick, we're just gonna test your knowledge. Who is this? Who is this woman with the sun and the moon under her feet and the 12 stars? Who is that? Anybody know? See anybody be paying attention in other classes? Hey, no, so Paul, you know? I mean, you the scribe. Who is the woman with the sun and moon under her feet with the 12 stars around her head? Give that brother a hand. Give that brother a hand. He said that is a symbolic of the nation of Israel. All right, go ahead.
Verse 2. And she, being with child, cried, travailing in her birth.
What verse you in?
Verse 2.
Okay, yeah. Go ahead.
Travailing in her birth, like travailing in birth.
And because the mic go in and out, speak up.
And pain to be delivered. Verse 3. And there appeared another wonder in heaven.
Okay, stop right there. All right. So it was great pain to bring forth the Spirit of Christ. You understand? What you have to understand is, to bring forth the righteous spirit on the face of the earth, it's going to be a famine. You understand? It's going to be hard times in hell. You understand? In order for us to get to heaven, it's going to be like escaping from prison and wading through a swamp. And then when you get to the swamp, you met by a mountain with a zero incline, and you got to scale a literal wall. You know what I'm saying? For a mile. You got to climb up a mile-long cliff with no slope after you didn't escape from prison, after you didn't treaded through a swamp, you know what I'm saying, with alligators and all types of other stuff in the water, you understand, just to get to the kingdom. You understand? That's what it's like in order to survive this fight. You understand? When you come into the truth, okay, you didn't escape prison. All right. Now you got to wade through the swamp. You got to find your way through the swamp. You understand? To the mountain, to Mount Zion. You feel me? Then you got to climb the mountain to get to the top. To get to the promised land, you got to go through all that just to get to the promised land. You ain't even walked in yet. This is what you have to understand, what's coming. It's about to get real bad out here. Okay? Give it back to Sawadia and finish reading 13. And while he finishing reading that, hold Deuteronomy 28 and 1. Malachi hold Joshua 24 and 13.
This is the book of Genesis, chapter 47, verse 13.
Mm-hmm.
And there was no bread in all the land, for the famine was very sore, so that the land of Egypt and all the land of Canaan fainted by reason of the famine.
Say that one more time.
So that the land of Egypt and all the land of Canaan fainted by reason of the famine.
Now, understand, of their own resources, there was no more resource to even, like we're talking about, let's say you have 40 acres. You understand? On your 40 acres is so desolate, it ain't even a head of wheat for you to grind down to make flour to make bread. That's how bad the famine was. Imagine a summer so hot, the sun scorches all the grass and all the trees die. That's the type of famine, and all the little retention ponds dry up, all the little lakes, you know what I'm saying, dry out. You understand? Lake Conroe looking like a big hole in the earth. You understand? Looking like a huge crater. All right, keep reading.
Verse 14.
Mm-hmm.
And Joseph gathered up all the money that was found in the land of Egypt and in the land of Canaan for the corn which they bought. And Joseph brought the money into Pharaoh's house.
Okay. So, first thing that you got to understand, right? When the world go to I can say when the world goes to shit, okay? The first thing that's not going to mean anything is money. You understand? That is the first thing that's going to go. Matter of fact, give me I think. Oh yeah. Go to Revelations 11. I think it's 11 and 1. Hold on, let me go there. I think it's 11 and 1. Revelations. No, that ain't it. There it is. Revelation 6 and 6. That's what I want. Revelation 6 and 6.
This is the book of Revelations, chapter 6, verse 6.
Let me get another bottle of water, Baba Kasha.
And I heard a voice in the midst of the four beasts say, a measure of wheat for a penny.
Water. It said a measure of wheat for what?
A penny.
Uh-huh.
And 3 measures of barley for a penny.
Mm-hmm.
And see thou hurt not the oil and the wine.
Okay. Does any what? All right. So we all know what wheat is. Does anybody know what barley is? Say that one more time. Unrefined oatmeal. Right. Okay. So it says. Read it one more time.
And I heard a voice in the midst of the four beasts say, a measure of wheat for a penny, and 3 measures of barley for a penny.
Okay, now let me just let you know right now, right? let me see. I forgot what's the so a pound of barley right now. A pound of barley is roughly $4, right? Okay, that's a measure, right? A pound of barley is roughly $4 right now, and I think it's moving towards like $6. All right, and then wheat is even higher. Like a loaf of bread is damn near $7 right now. It's crazy. It was 99 cents. I remember when it was like 89 cents. If I'm keeping it a buck. You know, I remember when, and I'm talking about that was the honey wheat. You know what I'm saying? That was the honey wheat bread. I remember when it was 89 cents. A loaf of bread is damn near $6 now. You feel what I'm saying? Okay. So, and this is what the scripture is talking about. It's talking about that a measure of wheat, all right, and 3 measures of barley is going to be worth a penny. You understand? Which means it's going to be a false balance, a false measurement. You understand? For the value of something, right? Like what you consider worthless is going to be the most precious commodity because your money means nothing. You understand? Like I remember when I was younger, if you put $10 on a tank of gas, we drive it. Where you want to go? You got 10 on the tank, where we going? We can go anywhere. You understand? $10 ain't even gonna put a quarter in the tank. You feel me? It's because it's a false balance. The things that were of value are worthless now. You understand? All right. So when the world goes to crap, the first thing that's going to be worthless is the money. You understand? Because all the money's going to be gone. Or what you consider money, you ain't going to be able to go to the bank. When they cut the lights off, you not going to have no access to your money. Crypto, gone. 401k, gone. Stocks, gone. Your Fidelity investment account, gone. Savings account, gone. You understand? Whatever money you had, if you don't have cash on you, it's gone. And to keep it real with you, that cash that you have after a while, that's going to be worthless too. Because people are going to be like, I'm still trading goods for paper. This paper don't mean nothing. But these goods do. So what can you trade for these goods? Oh, now it's going to be like in the movie The Book of Eli, a pair of gloves, will get you a shot of water. You know what I'm saying? Some cat oil, you understand, to moisturize your body and your lips. You understand? That's going to be precious. Oil is going to be precious because ain't no more plants. You understand? To come across oil it's going to be something extremely precious. To be able to fry something, it's going to be like, oh, you a king. You having something fried? Right. No more fried chicken. It's gone. Because the world had been fried in famine. Nuclear fire. Keep reading. I think you yeah. Hold on. We'll finish reading 15. We'll just start over on 15 and then roll into 16.
This is the book of Genesis, chapter 47, verse 15.
Mm-hmm.
And when money failed in the land of Egypt and in the land of Canaan, all the Egyptians came unto Joseph and said, give us bread, for why should we die in thy presence? For the money faileth.
Now, does anybody remember the parable of the ant and the sluggard? Okay, give me the cliff notes. Give me the spark notes. Give me the YAHANNA version. Sum it up for me. What is he doing as he's working day in and day out? Okay, and what the sluggard doing? Just living, right? So the nation that was the different people that lived in the land of Canaan, all of Egypt, you know, they was ODing on that sluggard lifestyle. You understand? Nobody was preparing for the famine. You understand? But Joseph knew what was coming. And Joseph was charged not only to make sure that his family didn't die, he had to make sure the entire nation did not die. So every yield for 7 years of each harvest throughout the entire year, he took a portion and put in Pharaoh's storehouse. You understand? Now, all the money that ran out in the land, don't nobody got money to buy nothing, and ain't nothing to buy out there. So now they then came to Joseph and said, give us bread. Keep reading.
Verse 16. And Joseph said, give your cattle, and I will give you for your cattle if money fail.
You understand? So now Joseph is like, okay, so since ain't no more money out here, what else you got? What'd he say?
Give you a cattle, and I will give you for your cattle if money fail.
Now, I'm gonna ask a question to see who's been paying attention. What did Joseph tell his family to tell Pharaoh that their occupation was? Malaki. Give Malaki the mic.
He said, tell them that they're shepherds.
That they're what?
Shepherds.
And what do shepherds do?
They herd.
They do what?
They herd.
They herd. And what do they herd, Malaki?
Cattle.
Get that brother a hand. So, now, if now there's no more money and now people have to trade their livestock and Joseph's family is overrunning Pharaoh's livestock, what you think about to happen to Joseph's family? Blow my mind. No, give him the mic.
They finna get a promotion.
They already got a promotion. They got the job title to be over all the herds of not on they got their own livestock, but now they already got the promotion to be over Pharaoh's livestock. So what do you think is going to happen? Because now the commodity is no longer money because they got all the money. What you remember? So what are the 5? I want to see if y'all been paying attention. What are the 5 assets to accumulate wealth today? Run them down. Real estate, livestock, land, stock, and then you missing one that they didn't already took all of. Gold and silver. All right. So they got all the gold and silver, right? So now they working on what? The livestock, right? So when I ask, what's about to happen to Joseph's family, blow my mind. They already got one asset. What's happening now? They about to become what? Because I said there are 5 ways to become what? Say it. Wealthy and rich, the same thing. All right. Okay. So now they're about to become exceedingly wealthy because they're over the livestock. You understand? Because that's above Egyptians. Like to deal with animals, you understand? That's beneath them. You understand? That's another thing that we've forgotten. Like, you can become wealthy by doing the things that other people don't want to do. That's why, back in the day, black people became exceedingly wealthy because they had cleaning services. You understand? Landscaping companies. You understand? They were mechanics. You understand? We still do today, but not as much as we used to, dealing in livestock. We were doing the jobs that no one else wanted to do. We had our own taxi services. We were drivers. You understand? We had our own buses. We gave away all of that. And now you mad that someone else has it because you've given up your wealth. You ran away from what the Lord gave you. You ran into the inner cities instead of staying that country boy. You understand? All right. Keep reading. And make and hold Deuteronomy 28:1 for me. You got that for me? All right, go ahead. No. I want you to keep reading where you at. Verse 17.
Okay, yeah. Genesis chapter 47, verse 17. And they brought their cattle unto Joseph, and Joseph gave them bread in exchange for horses.
Brother, do you hear that? He gave them what in exchange for horses?
Gave them bread in exchange for horses.
Hold on, man. Hold on. Let me ask Finn. Let's see what Finn say. Hold on, my bad. Here we go. Hey Finn, I'm here at the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge, and we're having a discussion. And I was wondering if you could give me the breakdown on how much does the cost of a horse in 2024.
Yo fam, universal practical knowledge sounds like a pretty dope spot for some deep discussions. You know what I mean? Talking about horse prices, that's a bit like asking how long a piece of string is. It varies quite a bit, you feel me? Well, horses can be super pricey or quite reasonable depending on the breed, age, training, and so on. It's not uncommon to see prices from a few £1,000s for a basic horse up to tens of thousands or even more for thoroughbreds or highly trained ones. You feel me? But just as a rough guide for 2024, a good average riding horse might set you back anywhere from £3,000 to £10,000. If you're looking at top-tier competition horses or specific breeds, you could be looking at prices well over £50,000.
All right.
What do you think, fam?
All right. So somebody let's get a somebody. How much is 50,000 pounds? Well, he said the first one, he said anywhere from 3,000 to 10,000 pounds. So let's do a median. Let's do 7,000. So somebody look up 7,000 pounds in British currency to dollars. How much is that? Go ahead.
$9,226.
So roughly 10 bands. So roughly $10,000 for a good horse, right? So you giving away $10,000 for a loaf of bread. You understand? For one loaf of bread, right? Let's break. So we said that where is it at? We said that I'm gonna calculate that. So we had roughly $10,000. We said a loaf of bread is basically it's $5 right now. You know what I'm saying? So for the price of 2,000 loaves of bread, you understand, you getting one loaf of bread. It's insane. Remember, one measure of wheat for a penny, 3 measure of barley for a penny. You trading a horse for a loaf of bread, so you don't die. He's like, what does this horse mean to me if I'ma die? Keep reading.
And for the flocks, and for the cattle of the herds, and for the asses, and he fed them with bread for all their cattle for that year.
You understand? So they gave up. Every person gave up all of their cattle, all of their flocks. So that's their birds. So they got chickens, pigeons. You know what I'm saying? Quails. You understand? Give me another good bird to eat. Turkeys. You understand? And then they gave up the asses, all the donkeys, the he asses and the she asses. You understand? And then all the rest of their herds. So that's lambs, goats, camels. You understand? So they can be fed with bread for the entire year. So they didn't gave up millions, probably billions of dollars. This is the entire nation of Canaan. They already gave up all their money. Now they done gave up all of their cattle. Keep reading. So all the silver and gold gone. That's the first thing that became worthless. Money. You understand? Now cattle ain't gonna mean nothing. You feel me? Because you just want bread and water. Okay? Let's find out what's the next thing that's gonna go when the world go to hell. Go ahead.
Verse 18. When that year was ended, they came unto him the second year, and said unto him, we will not hide it from my Lord, how that our money is spent. My Lord also hath our herds of cattle. There is not aught left in the sight of my Lord, but our bodies and our land.
They said, but our what?
But our bodies and our land.
They said, we don't got nothing. All we got is our bodies and our land. Joseph, they're like, oh yeah? That's all y'all got, huh? So I'm just supposed to, okay, let's see if we can work something out. Keep reading.
Verse 19. Wherefore shall we die before thine eyes, both we and our land? Buy us and our land for bread. Hold on.
Did he say, I will buy y'all?
He said, buy us and our
land. They saying, buy us. And they're offering themselves to be slaves and offering their land. Keep reading.
For bread.
For what?
For bread.
For what?
For bread.
Yo, brother. Hey Siri. Well, Siri ain't gonna do it. Let me go back to Finn. Finn be holding me down. Hold on 1 second. Hey Finn, that's some very interesting information. Could you tell me how much is 40 acres of land worth in U.S. currency currently?
That's quite the question, fam. Land prices can vary a lot based on location, amenities, and its intended use. You know what I mean? Like 40 acres of land in rural areas might be a lot cheaper compared to the same amount of land near a major city. Well, to give you a ballpark figure, farmland or rural properties can range from $1,000 to $5,000 per acre in many parts of the US. So that means 40 acres could range anywhere from $40,000 to $200,000. You feel me? On the other hand, land near urban areas or highly desired locations can skyrocket to tens of thousands of dollars per acre, making 40 acres worth millions in some cases. What kind of location are you thinking, fam? Rural or urban?
All right. So he just told you. So if you in a rural area, it can be 40 acres could be anywhere from 50,000 to 200,000. But I'm gonna tell you something right now. I done looked up recently in some rural areas, okay, and 40 acres is like $1 million in the country now. You understand? You might find somebody that you know is unlisted and they just is burdening them. They might come up off of it for 450,000, 500,000. But I'm gonna tell you right now, 40 acres, you're looking at about $1 million. You understand? And on the low end, like having a farm, that's low end land, 40 acres. You know, most farmers got like 200, 300 acres of land that they farming on. You understand? So 40 acres. So let's just imagine every person. So let's say we just use a province in Houston. In Missouri City alone, it's 250,000 people, right? In Missouri City in Houston, Texas. All right. It's $250 million. Each person not only coming to give up their 40 acres, but also they selling themselves. They're slaves. So they already got all the gold. So remember the assets. Okay, what are the 5 assets to ascertain wealth today? Give them to me again.
Real estate, land.
That real estate, land, same thing.
Oh, commodities.
What's a commodity?
Gold and silver.
You gotta be able to break that down for me, brother. All right.
Cattle.
And just so y'all know, the reason why I'm having y'all say this over and over again is so y'all can learn what real wealth is. All right. So you said land, you said commodities, which is gold and silver. All right.
Cattle.
Okay. Livestock.
Agriculture.
Stocks, which is the newest thing today. Okay. All right. And agriculture don't count. Even though agriculture is grown out of the land, it's counted as its own thing because it's another form of a commodity, right? So all the commodity is something that can be bartered and traded with, right? So textiles is a commodity. So what is textiles? That's clothing, right? So, different types of fabrics, which also come from agriculture, right? Any type of ore, gold, silver, tin, steel, you understand? Titanium, platinum, zinc. You understand? These things are commodities. Diamonds, rubies, emeralds, any type of jewels. These are commodities. You understand? These are things that are considered precious that can be traded for something. Okay? And the rarer the commodity is, the more valuable it is. Okay? All right? So you need to know these things. So when you're dealing with somebody and somebody want to trade with you, okay, let's trade. What you got? You know what I'm saying? A PlayStation, that's not really it's not really anything of worth. You know what I'm saying? The power go out, that ain't gonna be worth nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like you can make money off of a PlayStation, like streaming on Twitch, and all of that right now, but the power go out, PlayStation gonna be worthless. You understand? All them TVs and flat screens and electronics is gonna be worthless. It's gonna be a whole bunch of paperweights. You understand? If you don't have a car that got a carburetor in it, your car gonna be worthless. Bet y'all ain't thinking about that, huh? You don't got a car that has a carburetor in it right now. If the EMP hit or the lights go out, Tesla done. You understand? Y'all electric car owners, y'all done. You feel me? And even some of these newer cars, because they're more electric, you understand, than horsepower, you understand, they done. You got to have a car that's like 90s. You know what I'm saying? Maybe, I think the latest might be 2000 before they started introducing chips in the vehicles. You know what I'm saying? But you want 90s or older. That's why these older cars, that's why they cost so much. Because they valuable. Because when the lights go out, it's gonna be diesel fuel and regular crude oil getting people around. You understand? So you have to know what's valuable. And Joseph knows what's valuable. You understand? He was like, oh, y'all want to sell y'all land and y'all bodies? No sweat. Keep reading. Verse 19.
And we and our land will be servants unto Pharaoh, and give us seed that we may live and not die, that the land be not desolate.
You understand? So, no, start at the beginning of 19, because you stopped at verse 18. Start at the beginning of 19.
I was at Boston.
Yeah, start it over.
Verse 19. Wherefore shall we die before thine eyes, both we and our land? Buy us and our land for bread, and we and our land will be servants unto Pharaoh, and give us seed that we may live and not die, that the land be not desolate.
Now, Yakubad, you've been rocking with me for a long time on these Monday classes, right? To your recollection, what did I say was going to be the most valuable commodity when the lights go out? Can you tell these people what you're holding up in your hand?
Water.
You can say it on the mic.
Water, Ottawa.
Get that brother in. You know what I'm saying? That is going to be the water more so than bread. You understand? Because you can go a while without eating. You can't go that long without water, brother. You understand? Like, the most valuable commodity. People are going to be selling their bodies for some water. You understand? You talking about making it rain. That's gonna be making it rain, brother. You understand? This is really gonna be making it rain. You understand? They're gonna be doing some strange thing for some rain. You hear me? They're gonna sell their bodies and their land for some rain. You hear me? So the first thing that's gonna go is gonna be the money. It's gonna be worthless. Then they gonna give up their livestock. Then they land, and then when all that's gone, you know what they gonna sell? They flesh. I'm preparing you mentally for what's gonna happen when everything goes sideways in this earth, first thing, hey, bro, hey, I got $10, bro. Man, I see you over the barbecue, bro. You think I could, you know what I'm saying? Grab a plate for me and my kids, man. You'll be like, well, man, bro, that money ain't worth nothing, bro. Lights is out, bro. What can you get with that? You know what I'm saying? Well, shoot, I got this nice dog right here, bro. You know what I'm saying? It's a King Corso, bro. I give you my King Corso, bro, for a plate of brisket. What? You gonna give me a King Corso, a $10,000 dog, for a plate of brisket? Trade. Give me that. I'm putting this in your mind in practical terms of what's happening, because everybody know how much a King Corso costs. You understand? You gonna trade me a King Corso for a plate of brisket? Trade. There you go. Let me get that. What's his name? Rex. Come here, Rex. You understand? And then when they don't got no more Rex, they're gonna be like, look, bro, I see you just set up shop with the food truck, and you really the only person that really got food out here, bro. And I see you got your brothers out here holding security for you, keeping everything in order. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't got no, money ain't worth nothing. I done gave you my dog that's worth $10,000. But I got this house over here. You understand? And I see, you got your people working for you in order, man. I'll work for you so I can feed my family, and I'll give you my house to operate out of. That's what's gonna happen. This is what's coming. Whoever holds the resources holds the power. That's when women, that's when having a man is going to be important. Because if you a woman out here and you Miss Independent Woman and you got this big old house, you understand? What doors you think gonna get kicked in first when the lights go out? They going to River Oaks first. Then they go into Bel Air. Then they go into Sugarland. Then the Pearland. You understand? And if you are an independent woman living in this wealthy house by yourself, not only are they gonna rob you, you better hope that's all they take from you. And you get what I'm saying when I say you better hope that's all they take from you. That's when having a man is going to be important. That's why the scripture says, in that day, 7 women will take hold of one man. Because they're going to need protection. And they're going to need someone that can go out there and provide. See, that paper education, that doctoral degree, it ain't going to keep a man from beating your behind and stealing your goods and your goodies. But a man, especially them country boys, them ex-cons that were decent brothers that was trying to spit game to you and be a good man to you, that you overlooked because you wanted a corner office man with arched eyebrows and manicured fingernails. Let me know how much that is going to work for you in those days and age. You're going to need a scrapper and a strapper. That man, that them arched eyebrows, manicures and full body massages ain't gonna mean nothing. Because if you don't have a protector, guess what's going to happen? Your flesh is going to be sold and your land is going to be taken by force. This is what happens when famine happens. This is the order of dissension of chaos when economies fall and world powers crash. This is where America and the world is going. So you need to get your mind right. You need to pay attention to the news. When you hear stock market crashes, you need to see if this is a bear run before a bull run. You need to know what that means. Because if it's a bear run, it means we could be going into a potential recession. If we go into a potential recession, then the stock market crashes. If it really crashes, that means money's worthless. So next, people are going to be trying to trade other things for it. The world, more violence is going to happen. People are going to start robbing people. You understand? And then when people don't have homes and livestock and things that are tangible that people need, because your PlayStations aren't going to mean anything. Your clothes might. Like you got a coat, that'll be worth something because a coat will keep you warm. You understand? That's why I was saying the commodity. Textiles are commodities. You understand? And being of value. If you know how to farm, that is something of value. I can use you, so I'll feed you. Come work for me. You can sew, I'll feed you. Come work for me. You understand? You can cook, I'll feed you. Come work for me. Because these are things that I need in my infrastructure for my new world order that I'm creating over here, because I got the power, because I got the resources. Because I got the guns. You don't believe me? I don't know when the last time you watched the Book of Eli. You might want to rewatch it. Because that's what the world is going to descend in. Different factions of that. Lawlessness, disorder, debauchery. You understand? Sexual deviancy and misconduct, sodomy. You understand? Murder, thievery. You understand? Lying, slandering, just to survive. You understand? Get your mind right. Okay? Did we read verse 20 yet?
Nah.
Let's read verse 20, then we'll go to Deuteronomy 28 and 1.
Verse 20. And Joseph bought all the land of Egypt for Pharaoh.
Say that one more time.
And Joseph bought all the land of Egypt for Pharaoh. For the Egyptians sold every man his field. Because the famine prevailed over them. So the land became Pharaoh's.
So all the money belonged to Pharaoh. All the livestock belonged to Pharaoh. You understand? All the land belonged to Pharaoh. And guess what else belonged to Pharaoh? The people. And of those four commodities, guess what Jacob and his sons was over? Go ahead.
The cattle.
So guess what? They were wealthy. Exceedingly wealthy. They were over all of the livestock in the land of Canaan. All right. That's crazy. The only livestock that they wouldn't know was what was in the wild. Everything else, they were over and owned. Because remember, they had their own livestock. And imagine how much provisions Joseph had to set aside, because Not only did he have to feed his family's herd, flocks, and cattle, but now they had to feed what they acquired from everyone. That's that type of wisdom you can only get from God. That's the same wisdom that was given to Noah when the Lord told him to build an ark. Because only the Lord would know the dimensions that's needed to procure in order to put X amount of animals in there. Give me Deuteronomy 28:1. What you got, brother? The water.
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 1.
Mm-hmm.
And it shall come to pass, if thou shalt hearken diligently unto the voice of the Lord thy God.
So it shall come to pass if you listen, okay, to the voice of the Lord. Go ahead.
To observe.
All right. Not only to listen, but for you to observe what you heard.
And to do.
And to do. Now I want y'all to pay very close attention to how heavy this is, right? Okay. So I want y'all to blow my mind about this story of Joseph. What started this story of Joseph off? Anybody recall? Go ahead, Balaki. Blow my mind.
A cult.
No, it's not what started it off. That's the second thing. What was the first thing? And it's in line with what he just read. You have to first hearken.
The dream he had.
Yeah, what?
A dream.
So this story starts off with Joseph not only listening to the voice of the Lord, but seeing what the Lord wants him to do. Now, the first part of Deuteronomy 28 is you have to first hearken and see, right? And then what does it say after see, Yakubad?
And to do.
And then you have to do, right? So he went through hell in order to do what was necessary to not only save his family, but to save the entire world. You understand? Such as Christ. You understand? You have to listen. You have to have an ear for listening, not for decoration. You understand? You have to have eyes to see and to pay attention, not to be distracted. And then after that, you have to execute. And because he moved on the first two things, it's another thing. It's another lesson in the story. Don't share with everyone what the Lord gives you. The scripture says, of 1,000 have a counselor of one. Shut your mouth. Because Joseph was so excited about what the Lord shared with him, he wanted to share with everyone else, and he created enemies amongst his family, because the scripture does says that a man's foes is of his own household. Christ said he didn't come to bring peace, but the sword, to put man in variance with his father. Daughter with mother, son-in-law with father-in-law, mother-in-law and daughter-in-law. You understand? When you do the work of the Lord, you're going to create enemies. And 9 times out of 10, it's going to start in your own household. But if you hearken, see, and do, read,
do all his commandments,
Mm-hmm.
which I command thee this day,
Mm-hmm.
that the Lord thy God will set thee on high above all nations of the earth.
Say that one more time.
The Lord thy God will set thee on high above all the nations of the earth.
Now, to be a shepherd, is that not a lowly position? To be a shepherd. In the grandstand of from a king down to a shepherd, is that not a lowly position?
Come.
Okay. Now, you're the shepherd of the king's livestock. But what if the king owns all of the livestock? Does that make you wealthy? Get it, brother? Hey, that ain't hard. You know what I'm saying? And the Lord and Pharaoh gives you a portion of what you rule over. He's giving you the best land in Canaan and in Egypt. Gave you Goshen. So they gave them the entire known world of Canaan, gave up all of their land, and of all of their land, he gave Jacob and his sons the best land. Okay? When Joseph sent to, his brothers to go get his father, he sent a caravan, and then with the caravan, he sent livestock as a gift before they was brought down. Okay? And when it was brought down, not only they bring the caravan, the livestock gift back, but also their livestock with them. And they were exceedingly wealthy. Exceedingly. I always give the example of when in Aladdin, when he came as that fake prince, that huge caravan, when he was coming into the Sultan's palace, that's what the caravan looked like when Jacob was rolling into town. You understand? You know the song. You understand? That's how it looked when Jacob and his boys was rolling into town. Okay? And then he made him over all of his livestock. And then Pharaoh acquired all the livestock in all of the land. In all the land of Canaan, and all the land of Egypt, they're over it. So remember, the commodities, the assets, gold and silver, land, all right, livestock, agriculture. He already had all of the agriculture because he controlled the storehouse. So he already owned one asset off top. If you control one asset in a famine, you can become a superpower overnight. One thing that you have to understand is every time we go into a foreign land, that land experiences a famine and we come out exceedingly wealthy. This is why you got to learn this lesson. This is why you got to learn this story, because before any of that can happen, you have to first listen. A man or a woman that cannot follow orders will get you killed. Then you have to next be able to see the right way to do something. Means you have to learn and understand the right way to do it, and then you have to do it. And not do some of it, you have to do all of it. And the Lord made Jacob and his boys above all of the nations. Because guess what? The last thing that they sold? Their bodies. Keep reading in Deuteronomy.
Okay. This book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 2. And all these blessings shall come on thee and overtake thee if thou shalt hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God. Verse 3. Blessed shalt thou be in the city, and blessed shalt thou be in the field.
Are they not now blessed in the city and blessed in the field?
Okay.
You understand? Not only are they blessed in the city, they got the finest fields in all the land. Because of Joseph's sacrifice, because Joseph listened to the vision that the Lord gave him, and he never forsake or cursed the name of the Most High God, no matter how bad it got. Remember the question that I posed. Can you spend 15 years in the worst prison in the face of the earth, go through hell in that prison to come out to know that your family will be good forever? It's a tall ask, God. 15 years for your family to have the choice land in the earth, for them to be in control of all of the livestock in the land. Could you do 15 years in hell? In the worst, just think of the worst prison movie that you've ever seen. Whether it's Oz, Scared Straight, Prison Break, Blood In, Blood Out, whatever prison movie that you didn't see, Lockdown, you understand, or some of the worst stuff that you've seen. Could you do 15 years in all of those prisons combined in the worst conditions, going through hell, to know that you and your family be good forever? Are you willing to make that sacrifice? I don't think a lot of you are. Because Christ say they honor me with their lips, but their heart is far from me. Christ died for him to be able to say, in my Father's house are many mansions, and I go and make a place for you. But are you willing to die? For 15 years, are you willing to kill yourself? For 15 years, are you willing to sacrifice your life, your comfortability, your lap of luxury? They wouldn't sacrifice the distractions, the Hulu, the Netflix. You understand? The NFL, the NBA, the Olympics. You understand? Are you willing to sacrifice the beer, the wine, the weed, the whores, the whoremongers? Are you willing to sacrifice crack, cocaine? What's the new stuff they doing now?
Blues and Train.
No. What is it? No, it's like they huffing nitrous. It's like for whipping cream. It's Galaxy gas. Yeah, Galaxy. Yeah, look it up. That's the newest drug that's making them go crazy right now. It's called Galaxy gas. And you can get it from Costco, Walmart. And I'll guarantee you right now, if you go on the Walmart or the Costco app right now and you look up Galaxy gas, it's sold out. Because the flavors that it's supposed to be for whipped cream. It's cartridges, they come in like huge cannons. And it's supposed to be for whipped cream, and they're becoming exceeding, and they know what they're doing. You understand? And they're huffing on it. You think I'm BSing? When we get done with class, go online, go on TikTok, go on Google, look up Galaxy gas. Go ahead, nephew. What you got? Give nephew the mic.
So I looked it up, and Galaxy gas is N2O, or nitrous oxide.
It's nitrous oxide.
So the side effects are egregious, like dizziness, dissociation, disorientation, impaired memory, weakness in the body, and possibly even death.
Brother, there are kids that are 12 and 15 years old that got a voice like somebody that's 75 out. And when you see, brother, they walking around. I don't even think we got something that's large enough. Give me that. And this is a small one. Give me that. Give me this right here. Give me that right there. Throw it to me. Okay, you see this right here? Okay, imagine this size to right here. You understand? Of nitrous oxide. They just walking around. You know what I'm saying? Sucking it down. You think when class is over, just go on a deep dive. TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, whatever your social is, whatever your social media is, and just in a search engine, type in Galaxy Gas. I'm talking about they are zombies, over nitrous oxide. Insane. It blew my mind. And when I say it make it the outer body experience that you see these kids on woofing that nitrous oxide out, it is crazy. But that's besides my point. Are you willing to give it up for your family to be straight forever? Keep reading. Yeah, your nephew. Stay away from that Galaxy Gas, man. Go ahead.
Verse 4. Blessed shall be the fruit of thy body, and the fruit of thy ground.
So, is not Jacob's sons blessed? Because one son followed what he saw and what he heard. Saved the whole family. Keep reading.
And the fruit of thy cattle, the increase of thy kind, and the flock of thy sheep.
Brother, I mean, we couldn't write a better story, right? What verse was that?
Verse 4.
Verse 4. Is not all the fruit of the herds, is that not given to Jacob and his sons? Is not all the increase of the cattle in all the land of Canaan and all of Egypt, is that not given to Jacob and his sons because of Joseph?
No.
Is not all the flocks and all the sheep and all of Canaan and all of Egypt, is that not given to Jacob and his sons because of Joseph's sacrifice? Because he listened and he did what he saw and what he heard? Keep reading.
Verse 5. Blessed shall be thy basket and thy store.
You understand? They was already wealthy, You got to understand how this went down. The first wealth that they got was from Egypt the first time with Abraham, when Pharaoh tried to take Abraham's wife. You understand? The second time is when Abimelech tried to take Abraham's wife. You understand? And they came out with exceedingly wealth each time, and land each time, and manservants and women servants each time. And then the next Abimelech down the line tried to take Isaac's wife. And they got exceedingly wealthy again. And then Jacob went to go stay with his uncle Laban, and Laban was trying to pull a fast one on him, and he ended up leaving with 2/3 of his herd, adding it to his daddy herd. And when his daddy died, he inherited Abraham's herd, Isaac's herd, Abraham's servants, Isaac's servants, Abraham's women servants, maid servants, Isaac's maid servants, and then all of the cattle, maid servants, and wives that he brought from his uncle's house. Every time we go into a strange land and we follow the law, statutes, and commandments that the Lord given us, we come out with more. So what are you waiting for? You didn't serve Allah. You didn't serve Buddha. You didn't serve Caesar Borgia. You didn't serve Yemiya or Batala. You didn't serve Shango. You didn't serve Baron Samdi. You understand? You didn't serve everybody else but the Most High God in a foreign land, and it hasn't worked. You done got all of the curses, none of the blessings. And the crazy part is, none of us see it. Well, outside of the people in the truth. You've gotten every curse from Deuteronomy 15 to 68 and none of the blessings, and you can't see what we should do. Keep reading.
Verse 5. Blessed shall be thy store. It's like, blessed shall be thy basket and thy store. Verse 6. Blessed shalt thou be when thou comest in, and blessed shalt thou be when thou goest out.
Were they not already blessed when they came into Egypt? Brother, we know the story of what happened when they left Egypt, right? When Moses took them out the wilderness, right? Like, the Lord was on Egypt's behind so bad that it was like, let me give you my gold earring. Let me give you my gold bracelets. Here, take it. Please take it so this plague that we're having can be over. It was so symbolic, God. The Lord brought them in on the plague. And they came up. And then Pharaoh forgot the reason why Egypt was blessed. And he took them out on the plague. What you got to understand is it can be a storm, but when you walking in the eye, baby, you don't feel nothing. It can be a storm all the way around you. Everything can be getting knocked off. As long as you walking in that eye, you in the calm of the storm. But you take one misstep off to the right, you're going to get caught in that cyclone. You got to be able to listen. You got to be able to have the vision. Stop looking at right now. This pain that you going through, what you experiencing right now, it's temporary. Hey, has any of y'all ever broken a bone before? What you done fractured or broke before?
I done fractured my femur.
And
my ankle.
You still experience that same pain when you fractured it?
Sometimes.
No, I mean when it happened. So that pain was temporary.
Yeah.
Now you may have some remembrance, but the pain is temporary. It's gone, right? It's just like a woman that travails in childbirth. The pain that she goes through in childbirth. It is pain, But when it's done and that child is in their hand, they forget all about it and they want to have another one. Are you willing to go through the pain to bring you joy? Are you willing to go through the pain to have your piece of heaven? Everybody want heaven, but don't nobody want to die. And it's so interesting to me. We have so many examples of what is deemed to be success in today's society. And in all facets, it takes sacrifice, it takes discipline. But you don't think you have to do that spiritually. Is insane to me. It's mind-boggling.
Keep reading. Verse 7. The Lord shall cause thine enemies that rise up against thee to be smitten before thy face. They shall come out against thee one way and flee before thee 7 ways.
You understand? That's what's taking place. The entire land of Canaan that gave Abraham and Isaac trouble has been utterly laid to waste due to a famine from the Lord. Like I tell people all the time, your bullets don't do nothing to a tornado. You understand? Your tank don't mean nothing to an earthquake or a sinkhole. Your ships mean nothing to a hurricane or a tsunami. You understand what I'm saying? What does your cop car or your warplanes and your drones, what does that mean to lightning? What does any man-made what do your nuclear silos mean to a volcano? You're just a man when you're dealing with a God. You're just a man, and you're scared of men who are terrified of lightning, who are terrified of volcanoes, sinkholes, tornadoes, tsunamis. Your father is a God. You don't have to throw a punch. Your father can stop up the rain in heaven and dry out the earth because of what they're doing to you, and somehow make it to where you're in an oasis that's plush and green. And you're afraid? You're afraid to go to jail. Paul went to jail. You know what happened when Paul went to jail? An earthquake happened, and it opened up a hole in the wall, and all the prison gates were open. That's the type of father you serve. Oh, you thought you were gonna lock my son up, huh? Let me shake the doors open real quick. And because my son is so righteous, he stayed there to make sure the guard wasn't killed, because all the prisoners were set free. That's the type of stock you come from. But you afraid to let go of weed? You afraid to stop being a drunk? You afraid to stop eating pork, shrimp, crab, and lobster when you have a father that is a God that will hurl a tsunami or a tornado or a hurricane or blow the top off a volcano for you? What are we talking about right now? You're weak. You're a coward. You can't give up your life for a day, let alone 15 years, so you and your family can be straight. That's the type of sacrifice and stock you come from with Joseph, let alone Christ. You can't give up a day. Most of y'all talking about, I'll die for you, please. You can't even go 24 hours without food and water, but you'll die for me? No, for the blood of my brothers, they'll die for it, because I'll die for them. You got to have the same mindset of Joseph. You got to be willing to be betrayed by your family and still serve the Lord. To go into slavery, being kidnapped, and still serve the Lord. Falsely accused of rape, know that you're innocent. Thrown in prison and still serve the Lord. Become top trustee. Look out for people on the yard. Make sure that your people good and take care of people, and they get out in the free world to forget about you and still serve the Lord. Can you do that? Keep reading.
Verse 8. The Lord shall command the blessing upon thee in thy storehouse, and in all that thou settest thine hand unto. And he shall bless thee in the land which the Lord thy God giveth thee.
Say it one more time.
And he shall bless thee in the land which the Lord thy God thy God giveth thee.
Did you build that land?
La'ah.
Did you cultivate and develop that land?
La'ah, Adamah.
What does it say that the Lord thy God will what?
Shall bless thee in the land which the Lord thy God giveth thee.
Everywhere that we went, we reaped what we did not sow. Because we did what the Father told us to do. But you justifying sin because of grace. You justifying your porn addiction because you have grace. You're justifying your weed habit because you have grace. You're justifying turning our daughters into whores and being whoremongers because you have grace. You're justifying eating pork, shrimp, crab, and lobster because you have grace. But I don't know if you remember, Paul said, God forbid. Do we sin because we're not under the law but under grace? God forbid. Just because you don't have the punishment of immediate death? You okay with being a wretch but not a child of God? You okay with being a Gentile but not a child of God? Oh, I can't be perfect. Nobody can be perfect. I have countless of examples. As a nation, we were perfect. And we were the light in the sight of the nations. What verse you at?
We are at verse 9, sir.
Okay, we gonna come back to it. What else I want? Was it oh, nephew, give me Joshua 24 and 13. You supposed to be holding that for me.
This is the book of Joshua, chapter 24, verse 13. And I have given you a land for which ye did not labor, and cities which ye built not.
Say that one more time.
And I have given you a land for which ye did not labor.
The Lord said that he's going to get. Christ said, in my Father's house are many mansions. I go and make a place for you. He just said, read it again, nephew.
And I have given you a land for which ye did not labor.
You're going to walk into a city that you didn't build. It's going to be more technologically advanced than Tokyo, Japan. Keep reading.
And cities which ye built not.
You understand? Christ said, in my Father's house are many mansions, and I go and make a place for you. But you can't fight for your place here in the world. And you know where that place is? It's right here. It's in the mind. The battle for the kingdom is right here in the mind. Nothing else happens on the outside of you but conditions and circumstances. The plague happens in the mind. The affliction happens in the mind. The attack happens in the mind. Your strength or weakness happens in the mind. You want to know why you can't run 3 miles? Is because you say that you can't. Want to know why you can't do 100 push-ups? Is because before you even make an attempt, you say you can't. You know how you do 100 push-ups? 25 at a time. You can't do 25 straight? You know how you do 25 push-ups? 5 at a time. You can't do 5 push-ups straight? You know how you do 5 push-ups? 1 at a time. And before you know it, you keep doing 1s, you done did 5. You keep doing 5s, guess what? You done did 10s. You keep doing 10s, you done did 20s. Add another 5 on there, that's 25. You a quarter of the way. You bust another 25, you at 50. You do 250s, guess what? That's 100%. You need to get out of the can't instead of being how can I. Every time you ask something that you've never done before, instead of saying that I can't do that, ask yourself, how can I do that? How can I be healthy? How can I stop being a whore? How can I stop being a drug addict? How can I keep the dietary laws? How can I stop being a liar? How can I stop being a thief? How can I be a better brother? How can I be a better sister? How can I be a better husband? How can I be a better wife? How can I have a better life? Instead of saying I can't, you won't. If you can't, you won't. But if you pose the question, then you ponder. Then you start asking. You know what happens when you ask? You listen. Then you observe. And then you do what you've observed and what you've seen. And guess what? You're perfect now. But as long as you ODing on grace, you'll never be perfect. You'll never strive for excellence because you still playing golf with a handicap. Real pro golfers don't play with handicaps. They get what they get. But you afraid to play the game. He's like, nah, I need a handicap, bro. Because you don't think you can get a birdie. You don't think you can get a hole in one. Because you're afraid. Christ said, be ye perfect as your Father in heaven is perfect. Christ came in the same condition that you're in to prove that you can do it. If you don't believe that it can be done, we did it as a nation multiple times. So it can be done as a people. We can be perfect as a people. We have to hold each other accountable. The reason why I don't do wrong and do evil is because I represent Yahweh. I represent Malakia. I represent Sawadia. I represent Bazak. I represent Sapar. I represent my wife. I represent my father. I represent my mother. I represent my brother. I represent my sister. I represent my nation. That's what kept Joseph going. Even when your family turn your back on you. The scripture says that the Lord will make a table for you before your enemies. But that table is a test for you and for them. Because it says when your enemy is hungry to feed him. When he's thirsty to give them drink, because it's going to be like reaping coals of hot fire upon their forehead. Not to say, look at me and look at you, but to remind them, even though you treated me like that, you were still my brother. You're still my sister. I don't want to see you in this condition. Even though Joseph's brothers treated him like trash, threw him down a hole and got him kidnapped and sent into prison, falsely accused of rape because of the cruel joke that they wanted to play on him. He didn't want to see his brothers in a low condition. Go get my daddy. Go get the rest of our family. Go get our house. Bring them down here. I got us. That's the type of man you got to be. That's the type of woman you got to be, man. Who cares what they talking about? Who cares how they look at you? Because the day will come when they will need you. They will need your counsel. They will need the resources that the Lord has given the school to provide. They will need lodging in the house that the Lord has given you to provide. It always happens. But you got to have the strength to listen. You got to have the strength to sit and observe and shut your mouth and learn. And then do what you've been taught. Follow the orders. A man or a woman that cannot listen and observe will get you killed. Finish out what you got, nephew.
And I have given you a land for which ye did not labor, and cities which ye built not, and ye dwell in them. Of the vineyards and olive yards which ye planted not do ye eat.
You understand? You will be fed from what you didn't plant. All the money they had in possession, all the land they got in possession, all the agriculture they got in possession, and now they got all the people as a possession. Is that not what it says in Isaiah 14? They will take those captives whom they once were and bring them to their house as handmaidens and manservants to possess them in the house of the Lord. Is that not what it says in Isaiah? But you can't get a hold of your addiction. You can't control your affliction. How you expect the Lord to fight for you and you can't fight for your damn self? It's because you selfish. You got to be willing to fight for each other. You got to be willing to show up for each other. You know the only way we have camp is if you show up for one another. You want to know how each and one of y'all ended up in the school? It's because somebody showed up to camp. A brother showed up and did something righteous at work, and you saw it and you asked him how he was able to do it. Someone in your family stood up for righteousness. You know what is the consecutive thing? You gotta show up. I'm tired of the excuses because Joseph didn't make it. I'm tired of the excuses because Elijah didn't make any. I'm tired of the excuses because Obadiah didn't make any. Paul could have had all the excuses in the world, but he didn't make any. Samson, even though he messed up, at the point where he knew he was going to die, he asked the Lord to give him the strength to take as many of these Canaanites with him. He didn't make any excuses. He died righteously. Stop making excuses. Do the work. It's going to be hard. To build a kingdom, it's going to be hard. It's like tilling the earth to plant in it. I don't know if any of y'all ever turned over earth in a garden, but it's hard, back-breaking work, especially if the ground is dry and you got to break it up. That's what the Lord is doing right now. The famine is coming. It ain't even coming. It's here. If you can't tell, it's here. Bread is $5, huh? Bread is $5. As a child, it was 89 cents. It's crazy that a loaf of bread costs a gallon of gas, huh? And in some cases, it costs more than a gallon of gas. Let that sink in. But you worried about who going in the Oval Office? In the last class, we brought out this nation has been in debt since 1835. The last time that we had a positive ledger in the United States was 1835. So you've been voting for slavery for 129 years. You've been voting to be a slave for 129 years. And guess what? For 400 years before that, you was a slave. So guess what? You ain't never been free. Never. You got an illusion of inclusion. You ain't never been free. And you can't fight your own demons to get up out of here? I don't want to come back here. I don't want to have to experience 30 years of not knowing who I am, going through hell, sinning, thinking that I'm having a good time, wasting time. When I can build the household of Sawadia. I can help build the household of Yakabad. I'm already helping building the household of Malakwap. I'm looking at the next generation right here in Malakia. I can help build the household of Sapar. I can help build the household of Bazak online. Like, what are we talking about? Galaxy gas? Smoking moon rocks? Being passport bros? Sukianas and sexy reds? What are we talking about? We got Emmett Tills and Alton Sterlings. We got Sandra Bland's and Tamir Rice. We got real work to do to be free. What are we talking about? What are you waking up for? And again, I pose a question that I posed last class. What are you really voting for? Slavery? I mean, left wing, right wing, the eagle still clawing out your eyes because you're blind as hell. We gotta focus, man. Because the famine that was prophesied is coming. It's here. The waters have already been turned to blood. Google red tide. It's happened already. The pestilence, the swarm of locusts, Google it. North Africa. It's happened already. I don't know how many of our firstborn sons have died. It's another plague and a curse. It's happened already. What will it take for you to wake up? Don't say for the sky to crack open, because then it's going to be too late. And it's going to be just like what the scriptures say. You're going to be like, woe is me. That's Old English for I am destroyed, because you played the harlot with God. And you was his chosen. So when that sky crack open, don't get frozen. We died so we could live. You live, so now you die. That's the price you pay. Every man and every woman builds the cell to do their time. The only difference is you was born with the key to your freedom. With that, we're going to say Amajim, which means to stand. Sar, which means to turn. We're going to face the east. We're going to do the Lord's Prayer first in Hebrew, then in English. Repeat after me. Abanawa, Shabbat Shemayah, Quadash, Hayah, Shemka, Yahweh, Malakwaka, Taba'ah, Ratazayaka, Hayah, Aisha, Ba'aratazah, Kawah, Hayah, Bashemayah, Nathunlanawa, Laham, Kal, Yawam, Wasalak Nawa, Kabawak Nawa, Kasalak Nawa, Kabawak Yanawa, Wala'ah, Tabi'ai Nawa, Badasaya 1, Obal, Hawashai Nawa, Mayan, Rai, Kaya, Laka, Hamalakwa, Waha'Allah, Wahata Parak, La'awalamyum, Aman. In the English, our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Yahweh, thy kingdom come, thy will be done in earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever. So be it. Sar, turn your face to front. Go give a courtesy salute to the brothers, then to the sisters. Men of Israel, mighty Shabbat, Maju, Ra, Yahweh Hashem, Yahweh Shah, Barakatah, Yad Batah, Sar, turn your face to sisters. Men of Israel, mighty Shabbat, Maju, Ra, Yahweh Shemar, Yahweh Hashem, Yahweh Shah, Yad Batah, dismiss.